Your code is failing silently in production right now, and retries might be the reason. Not because you forgot to add retries, because you did add them, trusted the defaults, and never looked closely at what those defaults actually do. Today we are going to fix that. We are covering retry strategies from first principles, native retries, exponential, Backoff, Jitter, and then we are going to look at what the AWS SDKs actually do under the hood. Because each one is different and most engineers have no idea. Especially if you write in multiple languages and expect that AWS SDK retries are the same in Java, JavaScript, and Python. You'll be surprised. Let's start with the obvious approach. A service call fails, you just try again immediately. Sounds reasonable. Here's the problem. Imagine your Lambda calls DynamoDB and gets a throttle error. You retry instantly, another throttle, you retry again, another throttle. You've now tripled the load on already overloaded table and at exactly the wrong moment. Now scale that up. You have 100 Lambda instances all hitting the same DynamoDB table. All of them get throttled at the same time. All of them retry immediately. You've just created a thundering herd, a wave of synchronized traffic that hits your downstream service like a hammer. Naive retries don't help with transient failures, they make them worse. The first fix is the exponential backoff. Instead of retrying immediately, you wait, and each successive retry waits longer. For example, first retry, wait 1 second, second retry, wait 2 seconds, third retry, wait 4 seconds, then 8 seconds, and so on. This gives your downstream service time to recover. The pressure drops between waves of requests instead of being constant. This is much better, but it still has a problem. And this is the part most tutorials skip. If all your clients started at the same time, say a burst of Lambda invocations triggered by the same SQS batch, they all back off at the same schedule. They all sleep for 1 second, then 2 seconds, then 4 seconds, then 8 seconds. They retry in unison. The thundering herd is still there, just slightly delayed. The fix is jitter. You add randomness to the wait time. Instead of waiting exactly 2 seconds on the second retry, you wait somewhere between 0 to 2 seconds randomly. Each client picks a different number, so they spread out across the window instead of all hitting at once. There are a few flavors worth mentioning here. First, full jitter. The wait is entirely random within the backoff window. Very effective at spreading load, but individual retries can happen almost immediately, which isn't always what you want. Next type is equal jitter. You take half the backoff as fixed, half as random, so instead of 0 to 8 seconds, you'd wait between 4 to 8. You get some spreading, but you also guarantee the minimum wait. The third type is decorated jitter. Each retry's wait is based on the previous one plus randomness rather than a formula. AWS wrote a great blog post back in 2015 and it remains the gold standard reference. I'll provide a link to it in the description. The short version, it performs best under high contention. For most use cases, full jitter is fine. The key insight is any jitter is dramatically better than no jitter. Let's talk about AWS SDK. AWS SDK has a few retry modes, namely legacy, standard, and adaptive. Before we look at each SDK, we need to understand what these mode names actually mean, because legacy and standard get thrown around without explanation. Legacy mode is the original retry behavior from the early days of the AWS SDK. It does retry, it does use basic exponential backoff, but it has two real problems. First, there's no jitter. We just talked about why jitter matters. Second, and this is the subtle one, different AWS services return throttling errors in completely different ways. DynamoDB throws provisioned throughput exceed exception, API gateway throws throttling exception, SQS throws something different. Legacy mode doesn't normalize this. It only recognizes a very limited set of error codes, so some transient errors that should be retried, they just do not get retried. Next mode is standard mode. It was introduced in 2020 specifically to fix both of those things. It has unified error detection list that works consistently across all the AWS services. So throttles, transient failures, and connection errors, they all get caught correctly, regardless of which service you're calling. And it adds jitter to the backoff. AWS now recommends standard mode for all new code. And there's also adaptive mode, and it goes one step further. Instead of a fixed retry schedule, it tracks your actual success and failure rate in real time and adjusts how aggressively it retries based on what it's seeing. If your error rate is high, it backs off more. If things stabilize, it speeds up. It's designed for high throughput workloads where you want the SDK to be more intelligent, to self-tune rather than follow a fixed pattern. For most services, standard mode is enough, but if you're doing heavy DynamoDB or Kinesis work, adaptive mode is worth knowing about. So in short, legacy is inconsistent and has no jitter. Standard unified error handling and added jitter. Adaptive mode is smart throttling for power users. Now let's take a look at what each SDK actually defaults to. Boto 3 Python SDK. By default, Boto 3 uses legacy mode. This means up to 5 retry attempts, inconsistent error detection, and no jitter. It's what most Python Lambda functions are running right now. Switching to standard mode takes one line of code, and I don't see a reason why you don't do that. Another way to enable standard mode in Python is to set environment variable AWS retry mode to standard and to apply this mode globally across all different clients. AWS SDK for JavaScript version 3. Good news here. Version 3 SDK for JavaScript defaults to standard mode with 3 retries and jitter out of the box. If you are on version 2, you are on legacy, worth checking before you assume you're covered. And Java SDK version 2 defaults to legacy with up to 3 retries. You'll need to configure standard mode manually, same pattern as Boto 3 in Python. The takeaway, check your runtime, switch to standard mode if you haven't, and consider adaptive if you're doing high volume work against DynamoDB or Kinesis. Not all errors should be retried. This sounds obvious, but it's easy to get it wrong. Retry throttling errors, transient server errors, and network timeouts. It doesn't make sense to retry bad requests, auth failures, and resource not founds. If you are writing custom retry logic, check the error type before deciding. Most AWS SDKs handle this correctly by default. But if you've wrapped SDK calls in your own retry loop, double-check you are not retrying non-retriable errors. I see 3 rules that are worth mentioning. Number 1, API gateway is 29-second hard limit. API gateway will cut off any request after 29 seconds. Full stop, no exceptions. If your retry loop inside Lambda runs long enough to exceed that window, the client gets a timeout error even if Lambda eventually succeeds. Always think about your total timeout budget end-to-end, not just per individual retry. Rule number 2, DynamoDB autoscaling lag. If you are getting throttled on DynamoDB, autoscaling can take up to a few minutes to kick in, which is much longer than your retry window. If you are seeing sustained throttling, consider switching to on-demand capacity or pre-warming your provision capacity. Number 3, step functions has its own retry config. If you are using step functions to orchestrate Lambda calls, the state machine has its own built-in retry settings, completely separate from what the Lambda itself has. It's very easy to end up with retries at both layers without realizing it. Check your state machine definition and your Lambda logic together. So here's your checklist before you ship any service-to-service call. 1. What are the retry defaults for my SDK and runtime? Are they in standard mode? 2. Am I capping max backoff? Don't let retries run unbounded. Set a ceiling 20 seconds is usually reasonable. 3. What's my total timeout budget end-to-end? Not just per request, but for the whole chain. 4. Am I retrying the right errors, not retrying 400s? If you can answer those 4 questions before you deploy, you're already ahead of most engineers. If you liked the video, click like button, subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Bye.